Hey, welcome to Picking Daisies, the podcast where we dive into all things messy, beautiful, and a little bit chaotic. I'm Mary Hendricks, your hot mess of a host, ready to walk with you through every laughable, cry-worthy, and grow-worthy moment. Every Tuesday, join me and an incredible lineup of fellow moms, women, and experts as they share their own stories of growth, resilience, and silver linings that they've uncovered. Together, we're building a village, a reminder that even in the thick of it, you are truly never alone. Because let's be real, we all have our mess. Everyone's got those moments. But here, we are finding the beauty in it, also the humor, and growing from whatever life and motherhood may bring our way. Welcome to Picking Daisies. Hello, everyone. Hello, Picking Daisies. Hello, Elise.
Hello.
Yay! I'm so excited. Elise and I have been trying to make this podcast happen for quite some time, and it's either been like sick kids. I don't know what else. I think I forgot. Didn't I forget to get on?
Yes, you did. But you also had you had some life things happening.
My bird flew away.
So sad.
5 weeks. It's been 5 weeks. I'm over it. Well, I'm not over it. I'm still going to be sad about it forever. And I hate that it happened, but I'm like, I've come out of it on the other side.
Maybe he's like living his best life as a wild bird.
I like to tell my kids that, like, where I'm like, at least it's fun every time we look up in the trees. Like, there's like this hope of like, well, maybe he's up there. Like, I don't know. But there's this weird thing, and this is not about the conversation that we're going to get into. And anyone listening knows that I'm famous for doing this. I just jump in and then we'll go backtrack and you can introduce yourself. But since we're on the topic of the bird, I had someone message me like 3 weeks ago, and I can't stop thinking about it, and I can't find the message because it was like one of those like random ones that was in like my hidden inbox. And I wrote something about the bird flying away. And for everyone that doesn't know the story, we had a pet cockatiel. We loved him. I bonded with this thing. It was like my soul animal. And then he flew away on my birthday of all days. But I wrote something about like, I'm going to take a look at it as like a Mary Poppins bird. Like Mary Poppins showed up when she was needed most and then left when she was no longer needed. And I'm like, I'm going to just use that. Like he came into my life when I was in a slump. He brought me joy. He left on the day of my birthday, which is kind of poetic, of like a day when I woke up and I was like, I'm feeling good. Like, this is great. And then of course that like sucker punched me. But someone responded to me and said, that's what he's doing for us right now. Yeah. And I just didn't understand it. And I was like, oh, I hope you find a bird like that, because I didn't understand it. And then I didn't really think anything more of it. But then I'm like, I should have dug deeper, because like, what if this person is like local to me, has this bird, and like, I don't know, there's weirdos out there. Like, can you imagine someone has my bird and knows that they have my bird?
I feel like if that was the case, anyone with a heart and a soul in their body would be like, hey, sis, I have your bird.
I don't know. I keep thinking about it. I'm like, well, what if this person has my bird? But okay, that's not the point of this conversation.
I think that finding meaning in literally everything that you go through in life is what you have to do to survive. And so to just lean into that, like he came into your life for a reason and for a season, and now he's either living his best life as a wild little birdie, or
hopefully
he's, making someone else's life better.
I said that to my dad, and I was like a cat found him when he was hungry. My dad was like, Mary. And I'm like, I know, I'm a little pessimistic these days, but it's all good. But no, exactly that. And that's why you were on. I want to get into you introducing yourself, obviously, say hello. And you guys you'll see like that this conversation, exactly what Elise just said, it's finding a reason and kind of like, as you'll hear. Yeah. The journey is always interesting.
Yeah. I feel like I have a really unique perspective because, hi, I'm Elise, by the way. Hello, everyone. I am a single mom to two twins, I guess just twins. They're 2 years old. They'll be 2 in July. It's really a crazy time. And I am a therapist and a life coach, and kind of got into the field early in my 20s. I got really, really sick with chronic health issues, had Lyme disease, breast implant illness, like anything that you could navigate health-wise that's just so out of the norm. It all hit me. It was the breast implants that really like spiraled my health out of.
I want to talk about that because I did not know that. That's why I love conversations where they just flow, because I have heard so much about that. I had a boss that when I was a personal trainer, because she was a figure competitor, they lose so much fat and everything. So a lot of them get breast implants, and she had them, and she really started to experience a sickness. And it was after she got them out and she kept having miscarriages and everything, she finally got pregnant. It's crazy.
I can talk we can
Yeah.
definitely go into all the things, but it comes down to like your genetics. Like a lot of people have them and do fine with them for years and years and years, but there is like a type of gene mutation that like 60% of people have. It's called the
Wow.
MTHFR gene mutation. It sounds like motherfucker.
Yeah,
So
I love it.
you were like, but if you have the MTHFR gene mutation, you are probably going to have breast implant illness, and just your immune system looks at the implants as like a foreign invader and just kind of like
Interesting.
attacks. And so that's what happened to me. And then that was kind of like the catalyst for a bunch of other issues. So I had a really tough go with my health. And that kind of was the catalyst for me being like, I want to help. I want to like show up for people and be that source of support, because through that, I realized not a lot of people are equipped to really support someone through a difficult time. Just like the positivity, the like, it could be worse, like, you know, just smile, like, are you faking it? Just a lot of invalidation. And so that kind of pushed me to the helping profession, got my master's degree in counseling, worked as a play therapist for a while, but then I'm just a really deep feeler, empathetic person. And it was really tough for me. I wanted to like adopt every single one of my clients. And at the, at the time, my husband was like, you can't work with kids anymore. Like you got to work with adults, because you can't come home and like want to start the adoption process for literally all 15
everyone. Yep.
So I switched to adults and then made the transition to coaching young women. Coaching and therapy is a little bit different. There's a lot of parallels, and we can chat about that if you're interested. But I was coaching for a while, doing therapy for a while, and then we had like a horrible IVF infertility journey. Part of that was my health issues. Part of that was some sperm issues. So we just had a really tough go trying to have kids. My twins were our 6th transfer, and then had a great pregnancy, horrible birth.
Are they twins because the embryo split, or did you have two?
We put 2 embryos in. I kind of had a conversation with my doctor and was like, look, if this isn't it for me, I'm going to be in a really bad spot, because I had had 3 losses before. My 3rd loss was a 2nd trimester loss of my son, which just like,
oh, I'm so sorry.
So horrible. I've never experienced grief like that.
How many weeks along?
15 weeks. Yeah. It was bad. And we found out
I'm so sorry.
And it just was a really shit year.
Yeah.
And at the time, my sister-in-law was pregnant. She had a transfer a week before me with a boy. So it just was like a lot. It was a lot.
Yep.
And so, then we had the twins, almost died giving birth. They literally had to like resuscitate me. And then going into, postpartum, as someone who has struggled with anxiety and depression before, even as a therapist. And just had a really tough go, and then got divorced. And now I'm living with my parents and my 2 kids.
That's okay.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive and optimistic and hopeful for the future. I'm in a much better spot than I was, but it's just, life is hard.
Life is hard, but it's always changing too. Like that's the thing. And to backtrack, you and I don't remember how we connected, because I've been wanting to have you on the podcast for a while. And
I know how we connected. I came across your profile when you thought that your home was haunted. And I just like looked through your stuff. I think you're just like so hilarious and just like such an energy, such a light. And that's like what you need on social media. Like social media can be such a beautiful space for community and connecting with people and validating and all the things. But it also is like a highlight reel of most people's lives. And a lot of like most people aren't coming on their page and being vulnerable and, talking about the hardships of life and showing up as their authentic selves. And I think that's what drew me to your page, because I just love that that's what you stand for and that's how you show up regardless of,
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. I think, and I can spin this into something you said, but with that, like it's hard, social media. And I think for me personally, it's exhausting trying to be something that I'm not. I literally cannot do it. Like I haven't really been on stories lately because I'm so boring these days. Like summer break has started, and there's nothing wrong with being boring. And I've said that. I was like, I'm always boring. I just find ways to make it. It's a story. At the same time, like I'm pretty candid, but at the same time, I find ways to tell a story that are making it interesting of some sort. I just don't have the energy to do it. But I think that's kind of what has helped me is like I've just showed up and just said like whatever life is, I'm just going to do. But I think the hard part too about social media and where I want to spin it to what you said earlier is because you're a therapist, you have dealt with your own anxiety and depression. Assume, and this is going back like when you're on social media for me, even for you, when you have a following, they assume that you have an answer of some sort. And it's hard because it's almost like everyone's coming to you for, it's almost like you can't get on and post be like, I'm having a really shitty day. Like I can't just say I'm having a really fucking shitty day. Today sucks. Life sucks. That's where you want to leave it. Cause some days you know that you want to just have those days and you want to say it. But I feel like on social media, you have to spin it at the end where you're like, but at least life's good.
Well,
But at least because people are always going to come back and I don't know, there's always that. But
there's always someone who has it harder than you. You know, there's always someone who's going through, everyone's going through something. Everyone's carrying their own element of hard. And I think that people utilize social media these days and I guess like quote unquote trolling as like a release of some sort of like built up feelings. And so I think, you know, it's a very delicate line to balance going on social media and being vulnerable and being authentic because you're just opening yourself up to the public. And anytime you're going to have someone question you or, you know, hate on you. And I think that that speaks more about that person than.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's like their own lens. But I think it's just when you start getting a following, you get put on a pedestal. And I always try telling people that I'm like,
We're
I was like, we're normal. Like we're just people. Like I'm literally, I have a cat on my lap right now and my basement's a mess. And you know, I have a old coffee cup with looking a little scary over there that I forgot down here a couple days ago. And, you know, like we're all normal people, but I think, and where I was saying is like you being a therapist and having to be like, I've had my own issues. Like, I feel like people, when they put you on a pedestal, whether you have a following, whether you're in a place, you know, a therapist is, what is it, mentorship, leadership kind of in a way, a little bit. When someone's looking up to you in some format, you almost have this immense pressure to not struggle, to be an example, a positive example. And it's so hard. And that's why when you said you're like, as a therapist, I've dealt with my own stuff. And I feel like that's so important for like, even for me to hear, like, cause you sometimes look at and you think that everyone's got it all together. The people that help you get it together still don't have it together. And that's,
I literally have therapy this afternoon with my therapist who I've been with for 2 years. You know, and that's what's cool about the coaching space too, because as a therapist, you are limited in the sense of like self-disclosing. And so as a coach, I'm able to share with my clients like, oh yeah, I had a panic attack 2 days ago. And like, this is what I did to navigate through it. And so I think there's just, it feels more like a candid, like mentorship, friendship sort of environment. Whereas he is definitely like much more clinical and has a lot of like limitations in that sense. But every single person struggles. And if you say that you don't struggle, you're a liar. Like that's I'll die on that hill.
No. And I just had a guest on yesterday and she's like a life coach, but she works with younger, like 20-year-olds, like early, like just getting out of college, starting their life type of thing. And we were saying, I was like, everyone feels like, I know for me, like when you're young, you kind of are doing all these things off your checklist because you feel like there's going to be a final destination. Like if you do all these things right, everything, I don't know what that final destination is, but in our hearts, I think we're hoping it's really good. It's steady, it's sturdy, it's comfortable, whatever it is, but it's not forever. And you're going to get there. And I've been there. We've been there countless times. How many times have you sat in your life and you're like, I'm okay right now. This is comfy, only for shit to get shaken up again. We all know, you know, I know, it's just something is always happening. And it's really just, I don't know. I feel like at this point in my life, I'm kind of just hands off the wheel a little bit. I'm just having to take my hands off the wheel. It's Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. Surrendering is literally the hardest thing to do, but it's the best thing for your life and your sanity and your levels of fulfillment in life. I think we want to control everything because, you know, we live in a scary world and we want to have things go the way that we want to, and we want to reach our goals and, you know, navigating lots of different things in my life. I'm typically like a pretty type A gal. And so like chronic health issues and then infertility. And it's like, those are and now divorce. It's like, those are all, and, you know, losing a child, all things that no matter what I did, they were
You have
completely
no control.
control. And so it's like I can either suffer every single day or I can just like give it up and, take it step by step. And I think that to your point, like I always explain this to my clients, like if you think of building a house, like storms come, tornadoes, hurricanes, and like the foundation is you. So this idea that we're like, if I graduate college and get my dream job, I'm going to be happy. Then if I find my, partner and we get married and have this dream honeymoon, then I'll be happy. Okay. When I have a kid, I'll be happy. It's like attaching your happiness and fulfillment to these like life events that we've been conditioned to believe are what we're supposed to do. It's really like a tricky path to go down. And so like your level of safety and fulfillment and happiness is like the foundation of your home, which is you. So that's why like working on yourself, having coping skills in your back pocket, knowing your resilience, being able to coach yourself through life when it goes to shit, like that's the most important thing because everything is fleeting. Like everything is temporary.
Everything is so temporary. It's literally, I struggle with that a lot because I think for me, I learned at a young age. I lost a sister when I was a kid, when I was 5.
Ugh.
And it's amazing to explore how that's impacted me now. That was, this July will be 30 years that since she's passed. And it's crazy to me. Like, it's so crazy to me because it's such a long time that happened. And I remember being a kid thinking like, as a kid, you kind of take grief and all that stuff kind of as you don't really know what to do with it. But you would always constantly hear like time heals all things, time heals. And it doesn't at all. You just get stronger at dealing with it. It shifts. Everything it shifts. And it's even like with motherhood, it's like it gets easier. It doesn't. It gets different.
Yes.
It gets different.
You just
it's just like
you just become more badass and more equipped to handle.
Yeah. And that's what I've learned is like the healing portion it's a continuous thing because all of us are constantly healing from new things that come our way that impact us, whether we realize it or not. But it's for me, like I've always feared the other shoe dropping because I obviously witnessed that as a kid. So I used to do that, like, finances, eating has always been a huge struggle with me and how I treat food because it's like, I don't know, for some reason, if I eat, then it means I'm happy. And that's a problem too, is a control thing with that and worrying about like how life, it's, you don't want to let yourself experience joy.
Everything that you're talking about is like based in control and safety. And that's like anxiety. And so, your formative years, I studied child development and obviously was a play therapist for years. And it's so, so interesting. Like bringing these kids into a playroom. I had a 4-year-old client whose mom was pregnant, ended up giving birth to a stillborn daughter, and working with that son in the playroom, like he was 4 and he was working through the process of losing his sister in the playroom. And it's just, grief is one of those really heavy, difficult, messy emotions that is just really hard to navigate. And there's not a play-by-play book on how to do it. And I think it's one of those things. Have you ever seen that visual that's like the box with the button on the bottom and there's the ball?
Yes. Someone explained that to me. And what is it? Like it makes the ball roll certain, or like it touches the walls less and less.
Yes. The ball, as time goes on, like the box gets bigger because you're like growing around your grief.
That's right. Yes.
But the ball will still randomly, it's like bouncing all around the box and randomly will hit your button. And it's like the grief is manifesting all over again.
Yeah, it's crazy. We started off talking about the bird that literally, and it's so silly when I try and tell people that because I sound silly. Like when I was like, I grieved hard over this bird, but I literally, and I think it was just, it brought up, it like must have unearthed something in me because I lost it. Like I don't sugarcoat it at all. Like it was my birthday. So my family was all here. They had to witness it. They had to witness me. I literally was having a full on panic attack, like crying, could not control, like was outside, like hysterical, like in complete, I don't even remember. Like I almost don't remember a lot of it. Like I do, but it was so out of my reaction type. And I was so embarrassed about it. But I just realized that it was grief coming out in a
Yeah.
completely different way that I was almost like, I feel great now. Like, I hate saying that. Like, I'm almost glad it happened, but I feel like it needed to in order for me, like every time, like we use that visual of a ball, every time that ball hits a new spot, you almost have to like sit and figure out what that was. That way, like you can respond better next time and whatnot. It's grief is so funny because it's not even grief is like so widespread. It's not even about losing anyone. It's grief over how life changed, what life you thought life would look like. And there's so many segments to it. I'm sure you know, obviously.
Yeah. But there's no reason to be embarrassed or feel silly about that because on some level, you probably healed a part of yourself having that, emotional expression about losing your bird. I mean, that's your pet. I don't know about you, but like pets are family.
Yeah. Oh, it was family. I think it was just, it literally, because my mom and my dad obviously were here and my mom and dad have witnessed this terrible thing when they lost a child. My mom was crying and she felt terrible. My dad ended up crying because I think they witnessed it was full on trauma. I think it was like a trauma response of literally and I think for the first time they saw it and it broke, like I thought about it. I was like, it actually broke my heart for them because like as a parent, to have kids when you're going through a terrible thing, you then think about how it's going to impact them. And I think they saw it. And to be honest, I am actually, again, really glad they did because I don't think that I've always like, I'm the middle child. Like I'm the people pleaser. I'm the one that wants everyone happy. I'm the one that like, I just want joy. And that's probably explains a whole lot of my personality. It's like, I try to bring light to situations, but because of that, they don't expect me to be feeling like that. And I think we all needed to see it. I think I needed to unearth it. And then that way I can like figure out what the hell it is. And now I feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that. It's like, I mean, I think it's really hard to express really tough emotions because to my first point, not a lot of people know what to do with that. They don't know how to exist in that. They don't know how to respond to that. They don't know how to support you through that. And so I think a lot of us kind of like shove those big feelings and emotional expressions down because it doesn't feel safe to express that. And so I think that there probably was a lot of healing for your entire family dynamic in that situation.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Now going obviously back to you, no more bird talk. Bird talk. Okay, tell me about your boy. Are there two
A boy
boys,
and a
right?
girl. A boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl. Okay. And
Yeah.
they're going to be two.
They will
And
2 in July.
that's
30th.
wild. How is it living with your parents and them? How long ago did you get divorced or separated?
Recently. So I moved out last November.
Okay. And when did you have the babies?
I had the babies July of 2023.
So they were just after a year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was pretty much tough waters from the get-go. I had a really traumatic birth and literally died and was resuscitated and it was just horrible.
Yeah.
Then you come home and you don't have one baby, you have two babies that are both screaming, you're first time mom, you don't have the support. It's just, it was a tough go from the beginning. I did struggle with postpartum anxiety and depression. And then that kind of just like manifested into like feeling like my reality was a little clouded. And then it wasn't until I like went in with a psychiatrist, went in with a therapist of my own, and then we did couples therapy. And through that, all of those people really guided me. And then I'm like, I'm actually not struggling with postpartum anxiety and depression anymore. I'm just in a situation
it's a bad situation that wasn't.
Yeah.
It's so funny when I hear, not funny. It's not funny. It's funny hearing it because of a common thread that I've heard time and time again from women I know that have had either on this podcast or like I was just telling you about my good friend who's going through a divorce as well. And the common theme is that all of them during that time literally felt like they had, I had one that was going for a diagnosis for autism because her spouse was making her made her feel so awkward that she was like, I think I have autism. And then one, like, again, postpartum, like all these things that after they got divorced, like
Yeah.
just
Well,
lifted.
you try to make sense of your reality. And when you're in a situation that just, you cannot make sense of it, and
Yeah.
you're trying not to like, I mean, obviously no one's like excited about getting divorced. That's like the last step in the process. And I, as a new mom to two kids, it's like,
No, it's
that's
not what you want.
fought
No.
6 years for, went through hell and back for years to have these kids, almost died
Yeah.
giving birth to these children. I had to know moving forward that I did literally every single thing that I could, and that this was my only option left. And I feel confident in that, but it's just so wild because once you have clarity and you see things clearly, it's like you can't go back to like putting the wool over your head. And, it's just crazy because I was on highest dose of Zoloft that you can be on. I was on a mood stabilizer and I was on like 3 Klonopin a day, navigating just those first year and a half.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I'm on nothing and don't struggle with anxiety and depression. It's just so crazy. Like,
Yeah.
as a mental health professional, it's like you kind of like code switch between like being in that clinical mindset and then like your reality. And so, I'm in a really great spot now. It's really hard. Like, divorce is not fun. It's very expensive. It's nasty. It's, co-parenting is really, really challenging, especially with little kids. Like, they're tiny, still babies in my eyes. But yeah, I moved in with my parents in November. It was a very quick, like, hey, I'm moving in tomorrow. And they were like,
be there.
Yeah, we'll be there and help you pack up.
God bless them. Good.
And it's been amazing just having support finally.
Yeah.
Like, I just have, my parents, my mom's sitting with my kids right now and they're playing. It's just so sweet. And I can finally like take care of myself, Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really great situation. And, obviously, like, I've had to pivot. I had plans to be a stay-at-home mom and I wanted to homeschool and I wanted to do all these things. And now I have started my own business in January and I'm seeing clients. I have like an office space now and, it's just adjusting. It's definitely an adjustment, but it's funny now that I'll like go on my stories and talk. People will message me like, you look so different. Like, you have such a, like, your color is back and you
do.
like,
I mean, you glow. You have a glow right now. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know. This lighting I can't figure out.
if you look back on my like newly postpartum and like the first year and a half of my kids being born, like I just was like, the energy and the life was just sucked of me. And so it's really nice to feel like myself again. And, it's a balance between, it's shit and it's for the best and great and lots of things to look forward to.
No, again, it's that grief aspect. Is like, it's so many layers of it where it's like, again, grief, we think about grief as a death thing. Like, we think about it's any loss. Like, it's any loss that your brain, I just was listening to someone and obviously about it. Like, your brain it's moldable. It's forms and you can rewire it. It's crazy, but you form these pathways for years and years and years and years. It's not going to take a quick amount of time to take those routes away. Like, you have to completely go backwards over and over and over again. That it's like, that's what grief is that your brain just is trying to find what it's been used to. And it's like, wait, what?
Have you ever done EMDR?
No, but I really want to. Really want to.
You have to do it. Is I'm not trained in it, but I do it with my therapist. Okay. And when I tell you, it is the most wild experience. It's so fascinating because you're kind of in this like meditative state. They're walking you through this like script and they kind of just the things that pop up. I had something, we were talking about like my birth and me having this like underlying belief that like I'm not safe in the world. And I had this like memory pop up of me like choking on a mozzarella stick when I was like, it's just crazy things that just pop up.
And nuts.
Yeah, you're refiling these memories that maybe put somewhere in our body and in our brains as traumatic and are triggering And it's just, you need to do it. I'll send you.
I will do it. I believe it only because it's like, it's almost like a movie. Like when you say that, like there's a movie or a show that I recently just watched. And I don't know, they like went inside this guy's brain, but it's literally like they portrayed it as a filing cabinet, like where they literally go in and just like pull the file out of a memory. And it was like your brain literally can be like that. And I started to believe it. Or in a movie when, like someone hears a sound that triggers a response, and then all of a sudden they like go through that tunnel of light and they go through a flashback. It literally has happened to me before where and again, it's more related to my sister who passed away, but like it happened where all of a sudden, I think Barney, like a commercial for Barney came on. And at the time that was big when we were little kids. And I just immediately had like one of those like flashbacks, and I had to text my mom out of the blue. And I hate doing that to her because I'm like, I don't want to bother you with like, sad stuff, which she's like, you can bother me anytime, because she always wants to talk about it. Like it's her child. But I was like, did I put a Barney stuffed animal in her casket? And I was like, because I was only 5. Like, I don't remember a whole lot of that. I don't remember really any of that. But I was like, I just saw a vision of me literally doing that. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, what the? I was like, it was so weird. Like, it was just so, and that is why I want to try that, because I don't think I would have believed it prior that your brain can do that until I've experienced it myself.
Neuroscience is fascinating.
It's wild.
It is fascinating. I'll send you, if you send me your insurance and your zip code, I'll send you like an EMDR therapist in your ear, because you want to go in person.
Yeah.
You have to have like the little shockers or tappers.
Okay.
It's really cool. It's been really, really helpful for me in my.
I've heard great things about it. I've heard it's like really big for, it's really healing. So I should try that. Although it's kind of scary. Is it a little scary? Do you get like a lot of, oh no. Do you feel good afterwards, or like will it bring up a memory that I'm going to have to work through for a while?
No.
Okay.
It brings up old memories is not in like a threatening way. It's really just like you're watching like a slide. It's really odd. It's like you're watching like a slideshow of just like things by. It's just very, very interesting. But afterwards, you just feel drained because you're just your
body just did something. Yeah.
So it's just, you're just feel tired. And I mean, I'm always tired. So like, what's no different?
I know. Yeah. Right. Literally. Although I'm drinking tea right now, I was going to have another cup of coffee. I've hit my 2-cup max because I can't do anything more.
Coffee gives me anxiety, but I drink it anyways because I'm desperate. I'm like, when do they start? When do they sleep? Like, is it never?
No, they do. Where are they sleeping? Are they still in cribs? Yeah, they're little.
So, River, he sleeps in a crib in his own room, and Bloomy Girl sleeps with mommy. So
okay, well there you go. They'll sleep at some point. I think my kids started sleeping by a year, but but you have twins.
I do.
You have twins, and I did sleep training with my kids, and I didn't do like the cry it out method, but I did like a light form-ish of it, where people will probably hate me for that, but it worked. But I also they still wake up. Like I still wake up every single night. Pretty much I always get woken up at least once or twice by someone who has to use a potty. So we're, my oldest is 7 now. My youngest is 3.5. So it is what it is.
I know. I always say I'll sleep when I'm dead. It's fine.
You'll sleep when they get old enough to either go to preschool for a little bit, or when you can get a little bit more care. Like that's the hard part, is have childcare and whatnot, but they don't want them. They want me.
Yeah.
So
they don't want anybody but mommy. So
no. How's that work with custody, with all that stuff?
Yeah. So we have like a phased custody so it goes in different phases, just because at the time they still are under 2. Yeah. So, and it varies state by state, but we have 5 different phases. We're on phase 3. So I have pretty much 90% custody, and he gets them for a couple hours, 2 hours twice a week, and then a couple hours on a weekend day.
Nice for him. That's nice.
Yeah. He gets to have fun, and I pack all their meals, I cook all their meals, pack all their clothes. Not to make his life easier, but just because I want
because it's
consistency, and I want them to go there and eat hot Cheetos and have the shits for 2 days, because then I have to deal with that. yeah, it works out. It's for the best for now. I think when they get older, and they want to spend more time, then sure. But like for now, they're still babies and they want their mommy, and so it works for now.
You go with that. It's fluid. Have any dating stuff? Have you started entered into the dating?
Fuck no, Mary. Literally, he's dating, which like sure. It's really funny. Like
He has the time. Are you
yeah,
kidding?
he has the time and the energy and the
If
you
you have
know
him 90% of the time, how? Yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, I also just have this like, I am someone who loves deeply and I am very committed. I'm very loyal. I am a relationship person. I always have been. And I usually like pour myself into my person. And I mean, I was in a relationship with this person for 8 years.
Long time. Yeah.
8 years. And to just be so like wrong about something in someone is just kind of a mind fuck, especially because I'm a therapist. I'm like, how am
Yeah.
I giving
How did
people
you
advice
miss this? Yeah.
on relationships? And yet here I am, like,
Because you're a human. Again, that's boils because you're a human. We all have our own lenses at the end of the day that we see through. And sometimes those lenses are a little scratched in places that we
yeah, yeah.
don't realize.
I need some like glasses for sure. I'm taking
What's
off
that
the
right?
rose colored glasses that I'm putting on the you're a big girl and you're in real life glasses now. So to answer your question, fuck no, I'm not dating. I have zero plans to date anytime soon. One, I don't have the time or energy. Two, I just am like,
Like, where'd you meet your husband originally?
we met on Bumble because I was
Okay.
really sick at the time. And so I
Yep.
wasn't able to like go out and meet people. I wasn't able to drink alcohol. Like I just, in your 20s, like where people meet bars.
I
And
met
so
my husband on Match.com, so that's why I
you
was
did.
asking.
I love that.
Yeah. When it was like rare, it wasn't rare. It was starting to get more normal. It was when Tinder started coming out.
Yeah.
But Match.com was like, Tinder was more for hookups, like one night stand type of things, from my understanding at the time. I don't know if it still is. Is that what it's still used for? I don't know.
It beats
I don't
me.
know.
At the
Yeah,
time,
I don't know.
8 years ago, 9 years ago, it was still like kind of a hookup spot.
Yeah, I think Hinge is now the new one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was talking to my girlfriend about this again, the one that just got recently divorced. But the reason I asked is she's 37, and I was like, how do you even meet anyone anymore? Unless
You
I
know,
don't understand.
my perspective on it is when the time comes, which will probably, I don't want to be alone forever for sure. And I would love to have more children. Like I always dreamed of having lots and lots of babies. I like love being a mom. So I hope that that's in my future. But I think when the time comes, it will have to be someone who is a mutual friend of someone who this person that I trust knows this person,
Sam.
can
Yeah.
vouch for them. Or like, I told my therapist, I'm like, you can matchmake me with one of your other clients.
Other people. Yeah.
Or I thought about going on like Farmer Wants a Wife or like one of those fun shows.
There you go.
In
There
like
you go.
years, but who knows? I don't know.
You should do that. No, well, and it's hard. And what she was saying, she's 37. I know you said you're 32, but she was like, she's three kids. They're a little bit older. So that's a different dynamic than what you have. But like, she's like, she's like, she was dating someone and the guy basically broke up with her and said, like, this is too messy for me. Like, it's just too much. And she was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, no shit. That's what I said. I was like, you're his loss. But she was like, it's hard because the 30s and it's a weird, I'm 35, but it's like such a weird age of like, you're not old, but you're not young.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of feel like you should have your life together, but life is not fucking together at all. And I think we were like modeled this like perfect, pristine 90s, like parenting. I don't even know where we thought that was going to be our norm, but yeah, she just was like, it's impossible. And then she was saying that like the guys on dating apps are just like fucking weird as all shit. Like
I just
dick pics.
Okay, let me
randomly. She says she'll like go ahead.
Public service announcement. No one wants a picture of a penis. No one wants to receive a picture of a penis. Okay, no one.
No. Although if I had a penis, I probably would take a picture of it.
I love that. Have you seen
I
that?
would have to.
meme where it's like the elephant and it's like girls and penis for one day.
No, I always say that. I said that to my girlfriend. I was like, if I had a penis for a day, there is a whole slew of things that I would do. I'd be like taking it around. I don't know. I don't blame them. I'd be touching that thing all the time. It's just like, I don't know. That's not the point of the conversation. But what were we saying before? Oh yeah, she was saying it's like that, or it's just like the nice messages all of a sudden turn into like sexting, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. She's like, I don't know what the deal is, and she's like, I'm gonna chill. And I was like, that's what you should do. And even for you, like you just filled your own cup. Like you literally just filled your own cup. You look great. You don't need to pour it out anytime soon. Like enjoy
No.
it. Enjoy.
Yeah. I'm being really like protective over
You
my
should.
right now. And, I have this, and maybe you can share this with your friend too. I have this like mindset around it that's like, whatever is meant for me will be mine. And the things that are supposed to happen with such ease. And my getting pregnant with my twins are such a testament to that, because I went through years and years of fertility treatments and pregnancies and losses and surgeries and, issues. And then it all just happened so easily with them. And it's just so crazy, because I think it's like there's a time for everything. And if you're trying to push something or make something happen when it's not
No.
the right time, it's not the time for that, then it's going to be hard and challenging. But when you just say like, fuck it, I'm just going to release it. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to wake up every day, be grateful, do things that spark joy, take care of myself, then I feel like maybe
it comes to you.
it
comes to you.
and then
It
it's
does.
just easy.
Yeah, it really does. It's I don't know, are you spiritual at all? Are you
I love
okay,
the
are
way
you
it.
okay, me too. Thank you. I had a medium on and her reading was fucking wild. I usually don't believe in that stuff either. Like I was very skeptical and I still like there's always a shred of doubt in you, like a little bit where you're like, you don't want to get ahead, but there's been some weird shit that has happened. And I swear it's like when you let it really is. It's like, and she was explaining to me, she was like, everyone has a spirit guide.
Yes.
Everyone has a spirit guide. And she said, basically it's like a family member, but it may be someone random. It's someone that your soul and theirs
in a past life or
yeah, whatever it may be, but it's someone, everyone has a spirit guide. And she said, they're there to like guide you. And when you're ready and when you're ready, when you're truly ready, they will make the doors open to what you want. And they know that, notice that. And it's like, I always repeat every morning, I don't seek, I attract.
yes.
And I love that where it's just like, I'm not chasing anything anymore. It's like, I'm putting out hopefully I'm putting out good. Hopefully good will come back my way. No expectations, no control. It's the control thing.
Well,
Try not to do that as much.
Anxiety, which comes from
anxiety is such a bitch. I know.
It is, but it makes sense. I mean, when you go through trauma,
yeah,
that's a very normal response.
Yeah.
You anticipate what you've experienced. And so to try to escape the pain that you've experienced in your future, you try to control and you try to, keep safe. So it makes total sense. But it's funny that you mentioned spirit guides and mediums, because after we lost our son, I spoke to like a baby spirit guide.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you I had gone through like very intense grief therapy and trauma therapy, this 1 hour conversation with this baby spirit guide was more healing than like a year of intensive.
I believe it.
And
if you go to someone really good, like you don't have to believe it. Like for anyone here listening, again, if you go to a good medium, they're not trying to like predict your future. They're not looking into a crystal ball. Or it's not like they're looking you. I don't think they're looking you up or any of that. You don't have to tell them anything, but like whether it's a true gift or not, if you want to think psychically, it still is a gift. I think that is still a gift if you go to someone that's really good, that are very good at reading your energy and figuring out what to respond and tell you to help that energy flourish. And that's exactly, I believe that there's more to it, but you know.
Everybody has an intuition, right? Like you can tap into your gut feelings about things. I was so fascinated. This is way off topic, but like the Ted Bundy cases.
Yeah.
these women, there were like a couple women that encountered him, and he would always come up to his victims and act like injured or, I need help with something. And then he would obviously attack them. And there was a couple women who literally felt like ill, and they had this intuition of like, this is not a good person.
Yeah.
And then they obviously lived. And then when all of it came out, they were like, oh my God, that was the guy who like tried to come up to me. So it's
So
just
crazy.
everybody has these intuitive senses and
Feelings.
deep knowings, but we're so modern age, we're so disconnected from that because we live up here in our mind so much. Kind of a tangent, but I like love that.
No, I love it. That's well, I should call this podcast off topic because I feel like it's all I literally like. I had someone on my podcast I released yesterday. It was about teeth, but we then ended up. It was all about we talked mental health because we start off on an expert thing, but then we're going to get into like the real life conversation because that's the shit I like to listen to personally. If I'm on a podcast, I want to hear just like
there's
real chit chat.
Probably multiple listeners who needed to hear this exact conversation that we've had.
No, exactly. No, the gut intuition is insane. I've always said though, and if anyone listening, they know that I've said this countless times, but intuition and anxiety are twin sisters. That's how I like to view them in my head. And like, you have twins, but they're not identical. But imagine if your kids were identical, like parents of twins. Like I look at that and I'm like, how do you tell them apart? Like when you see that, and it's because they may look identical to someone that doesn't know them very well, but to the person that spends every waking second with them, they know that it's there. And that's why I've always said, like, the only way that you get to know your intuition and your anxiety better and knowing and distinguishing each is you have to sit with them. You really just have to like honor it. And like, if you may get it wrong too, like that's the thing. So you're going to mix it up sometimes, but like, that's what I've been trying to do.
What I always say is that you will never get a sense of peace from anxiety.
Yes.
You will always get a sense of peace from your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting with both of those, I like to, there's been so many, my anxiety is very loud and my intuition is clouded, but now she's, piping up more. But I think if you can sit and just close your eyes and like be with yourself and you think of like whatever two scenarios you're, navigating, anything, even if everything in your mind is like, this does not make sense, but I feel peace about it, that's your intuition. And I mean, deciding to get divorced and break up my family, like it did not make sense in my brain. I'm like, we've fought so hard, we've been together for a long time, but it was like, there was I was talking myself out of it in my brain, but like my intuition just felt peace. And, that's all I needed.
Sometimes the logical thing is not always the right thing. Like the standard of what we look at, like, I think there's such a pressure too for women to stay in marriages, like for people to stay in marriages. And I wanted to say I commend you for listening and doing that because obviously we don't need to know the full situation, but obviously the situation wasn't healthy. It wasn't good, no matter, who's at fault or whatever. But it's just like so many people don't take that step. And I know that there's so many circumstances that like, God, thankfully you had parents and things like that, where I know there's so much, stopping people, but it's just like,
it would have been easier to stay. And I cannot imagine not having my parents as like a parachute because so many women or men, in situations that are not good,
stuck,
healthy, they're stuck because they don't have options. And especially like I didn't have any access to our finance. Like there just was, if I didn't have my parents as a parachute, I would be in a women's shelter with my kids right now.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out. And
is there anything that you would go back and wish you could tell yourself 8 years ago, like before you got married, before all this or anything? Not in a bad way. Like not like
I've thought about this. I've thought about this a lot. And, my initial response would be like, yeah, there's so much that naive little girl has no.
Yeah, I know. All of us were like that. Oh my God.
But like my babies are my life. And if anything had been different, I wouldn't have them. And so, as difficult as co-parenting and divorce and, starting literally over from ground zero is, like, they're my life and I would do it all over again for them. But I think, yeah, there's tons of life lessons that I've learned along the way. And I have a pattern with people in relationships where I probably put up with more than I should because I have a heart and I just am empathetic and and there's just no need for that. Like, I
No,
don't,
I know, but I'm the same way. Like you just, I want to see the good in people. I really want to
the
give the benefit.
potential.
Yeah, the potential to get benefit of the doubt is like big
Yes.
for me. I don't like to burn bridges if I can avoid it, but
No,
it's like now I've gotten to a place where I'm like, yeah, we're gonna burn
let's
this
ride it
fucking
on,
bridge.
bitch. Like,
Yeah,
let's
we're
fucking light
done.
the lanterns and go. Yeah,
Heck
for
yeah.
sure. I'm at that place too. And I've learned so much. And honestly, like, to be able to wake up every morning and be like, I am a living example of what I want to instill in my kids. Like, my daughter will know what she can tolerate and what she can't tolerate and what she should expect from people and a partner and, no
They won't be
inconsistency.
as scared as this. They won't be as fearful of doing the scarier
Yes.
options of the
Yeah.
options. They're taking the what is it, the road less traveled or whatever it
Yeah.
is, that poem. But yeah, that's exactly it. Like again, we started off with the bird talk, but it's all of these things. Like that's why this podcast I love. It's growing through what you go through, picking daisies. Daisies grow wherever they're planted. Essentially, they're a very resilient flower. That's why I love them.
Yeah.
And they have to go through dirt and shit, and they have to live in all that stuff, and they're still beautiful. So it's like that's my whole thing. But like we started with the bird, and talking about me being embarrassed about how I broke down over this thing and all of these things. But like I also am grateful that I did the uncomfortable thing. It's not the same, but we all are as parents are doing the uncomfortable things. Sometimes we have to do the scary stuff. That we're not fearless now that we're adults. We're not any of those things. We're not without sadness or any of that. Like we feel the same exact stuff. It's just that we have to model it in some way. And I think it's just like that's what's made me proud of that. And I think you should be proud of yourself too. It's like all of the hard shit that we do and go through and whatnot.
How
There's a
like
benefit.
amazing is it that your kids got to see you be human and like
Same with you. Like, yeah, they get to see us. I think that's the biggest thing is I love seeing moms or parents these days. I feel like a lot of us are like having that conversation of like just reminding ourselves that we are human. Because I feel like we've put ourselves on such a pedestal. Like we do it to ourselves where we're like, I don't know what it's
it's definitely
absolutely
generational and it's just, I feel like our generation is the wave of like breaking generational patterns and like,
conversation and emotions
we
and
just know
yeah.
more about emotional intelligence and emotional vulnerability. It's just really a good like spot to be in to be able to, I mean, when I'm crying, I'm like, sharing that with my kids and be like, yeah, mommy's sad, but it's okay when, everybody's sad sometimes. And, you know, I need to do what's going to make me feel better and
Yeah.
that it will
I
pass.
always say I told my daughter, because obviously my kids were upset about the bird. And then after this, we'll wrap up. We've talked about birds and grief
And
and
penis.
penises, dick pics. God, it's a good episode. I love when episodes start out like this. But I told my daughter with grief, and for anyone listening here, if you haven't seen me share it, but I've viewed it as love. Andrew Garfield, I think, is he
Yeah,
an
love
actor?
that you can't express anymore.
Yeah, but it's love displaced. And I told that to my daughter because she was so upset about the bird. And I said, I know, like, it's awful. Like, this feels awful, but it's you got to figure out the next step, like then do the next right thing. But you have to find somewhere else to take that love and pour it into. Like, take that love that no longer has a home anymore, that you have, whoever you were giving it to, whatever situation you were giving it to, and find a new place to give it. And it's not going to look the same. It never will. But I think just having and giving that home obviously is what carries you forward, is doing that. So like that's how I've always viewed it. And I've always explained it too, like sadness is not a bad thing. Like I think that was a big thing as a kid for me going through trauma. Like I wish someone explained to me that sadness isn't a scary or bad emotion to emit, because again, I think I wish I'd known for it is that is showing how much love I have, that like sadness is a result of love. Like it literally is. Like it's just one of those things that I'm trying to view it from like a it's a positive thing. It hurts, it sucks, it's uncomfortable, but it's all because of good things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's amazing things to instill in your kids. So
yeah,
good job, mommy.
Good job for you. Yay. Clap for us, everyone. Let's do everyone join us. All of us. Everyone, not just me and Elise. It's all of us. I want everyone to take a round of applause for themselves. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to link all of Lisa's, do you have a TikTok? You have a TikTok, right?
I don't. I TikTok is not my thing. I need to probably.
Well, I don't know how.
It's too new agey for me. I'm an OG Instagram girly.
That's where I thrive.
Yeah. TikTok's too complicated for me, but yeah.
I'll link you. Go follow Elise. Go love her. Cause I followed you back immediately. I'm following you was just because I have loved seeing the evolution. I saw you before. I think you even had kids.
Yeah.
I think you were going through the IVF process and then you got pregnant and then you disappeared for a little bit. I didn't see you for a bit. And then you came on with news, obviously.
Rose from the ashes.
I like it. I like that. Phoenix, baby. You should get a tattoo of that. So
I just got a tattoo of an eagle.
There you go.
Flying high, flying high, spreading my wings, freedom.
There you go. I love it. Awesome. Okay. Well,
you're great.
You're great. Thanks for being here.
All right, Mama, that is a wrap on today's episode of Picking Daisies. I hope today's chat left you feeling seen, understood, and maybe even gave you a good laugh along the way. As we all know, motherhood isn't easy, life isn't easy, but it's moments like these where we can connect and share our stories that really help make that load feel a lot lighter. So if you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world to me if you could take a moment to leave a rating and review. Your feedback not only will help this show grow, but also it will make sure it reaches other moms who might need that same dose of honesty, humor, and heart. And don't forget, if something in today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend or hop on over to Instagram or wherever you connect on social media and keep the conversation going. I love hearing your stories and being a part of this journey with you. Thank you for being here and for showing up for yourself. And then, of course, sharing that space with me. So until next time, remember, we all grow through what we go through. You've got this, Mama. I'll see you next week.